Garnacho, oh, Garnacho, oh, Garnacho, oh. Big up everybody, Therapy Army. Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. Welcome to the therapy session. After that mentally, emotionally draining game, big up to every one of you. Welcome to the match reaction, people. Hopefully we'll get some of the man them joining us in a minute. But big up to every one of you. I'm not giddy, bro. I am not giddy. I'm just relieved. I'm relieved of this kid has finally shown the world what we all knew and what we all can see. Breaking news. Breaking. I've interviewed Cristiano Ronaldo on a length of the Pierce Uncensored most explosive interview ever given. Stand by at 10 p.m. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's true. Is that real, people? Or is Mark Bros taking the piss? But welcome, Mundo. If we would have lost today, that defeat would be right on the head of Eric Ten Hag. Taking off Ilanga, who was offering us a massive threat, off the ball runs, keeping their fullback Kent in, Rashford on the other side, Martial through the middle, the way they were pressing us, the danger that we were on the transition, and then brings on McTominay to play number 10 and puts Bruno out wide. I don't mind if it's in the last 10 minutes and winning 2-1. I don't mind that. Last 10 minutes of a game, maybe. But you ain't doing this, man. Sorry. What is going on? Talk to him, Mundo. How did you see that game? In the first half, we made chances to at least be 2-0 up in that first half. We should have been at least 2-0 up. But go on, go ahead.
Well, I knew we were going to concede. It would be a miracle, absolute miracle, not to concede in that game, because our right-hand side, their left-hand side, was open, so open. It's like we opened the door and said, "Usher them in, come in." So I kind of get why Ten Hag took Elanga off, because defensively he was shocking. He was terrible. He didn't give Malacia any help whatsoever on that side. And he had to close the door. So I understand why he might have put Fernandes. You're on mute, bro, I think you're on mute.
But Mundo, he closed the door. It made us even more worse.
Yeah, he didn't make it. So
even more worse.
Yeah, he did. So what I think what he should have done, I mean, I don't know what the option. I can't remember what the options were on the bench. But
Palestri's gone. He doesn't rate Palestri. Palestri's
already he doesn't rate Palestri. No.
Yeah,
but
he's already joined up with the Paraguay with the Uruguay team.
We lost our shape. We completely lost our shape when he took.
No, at least on the transition, we were more danger. They couldn't push up. Soon as Ilanga went off, they squeezed that side of the pitch. That's when you see their left back coming more into the game.
It was from a United perspective. It was a terrible game.
To me, Ilanga does not come off unless you've got somebody quick to play on that right hand side who's going to trouble them and push them back on that hand side.
You know what? I want to put the spotlight on one person, right? It wasn't a great team performance by any stretch, and there's plenty of players that you could go in on. But for me, I've not dug him out before. But now I'm going to dig him out. I'm sick and tired of Lindelof now. I'm sorry, I am. I'm sick and tired of this fraud. He pretends that he's defending when he's not. He might get a few interceptions here and there, and he might win a header. But fuck me, that guy. His fault for the goal. Absolutely his fault for the goal. And the reason why that side of the pitch is wide open, look at the other side of the pitch. You know, when Shaw's often caught out of position, but Martinez helps him. You've got a young kid playing right back who is a left back, and you've got another young kid who is Elanga is struggling defensively, and he's the most senior player on that side of the pitch. He's a defender, and I never once saw him get out there to help them. He's a coward. It annoys me.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I actually thought he defended really well today. Because what I expect from him I just expect him to try to win his duels. I actually thought he was quite aggressive. I actually thought he cleared a lot of near posts. You know, the ball when the ball got cut back from the near post, because that's what Maguire doesn't do, that Mundo. But honestly, today maybe we can watch the game again. I'll send you the link. Maybe we need to watch the game again, or maybe
Watch the game again.
We both need to watch the game again.
Before we conceded,
what you're asking him, he's not that guy. I just want him to be competent. What he does, forget when he tries to help people. That's when he starts making mistakes. Bumbaye, welcome to the space. Go ahead, Mundo. Finish your point. We'll go to Bumbaye.
So you can say he blocked. People can say he's blocked. People are jumping in the comments saying he's blocked this and that. But you know what? That's part of the problem. Look at the goal. Look at their goal again, right? There's a phase before, I think it's Kearney, before Kearney gets the ball. There's a 50-50, yeah? There is a 50-50, and Lindelof, this is, even before this happened in the first half, I was shouting at the screen, because when there's a 50-50, rather than advance and try and win the ball, he retreats. So there was a phase before they scored where he could have won a 50-50, and he retreated. Then it went to Kearney, and rather than try and get out and block the ball, he retreats and put his hand behind his back, right? The cross comes in, and they score. And the thing is, people can say I'm nitpicking, whatever, but the thing is, when you see a proper defender like Martinez and Varane, this guy doesn't cut the mustard. I'm sorry. I want my defenders to be aggressive. I want them to block the ball. I want them to get out there. Lindelof he only shows up for the interceptions, the easy stuff, dropping back into defense and blocking the ball when the ball's coming into the box. We don't play like that anymore. That's not how we want to play. We want to be aggressive. Get out. Don't even let the cross get into the box. I'm sick of this passive defending. Yeah, I'm sick of it.
I'll stay with you while you're there. Breaking. Interview Cristiano Ronaldo at length for my show. It's the most explosive interview he's ever given. Stand by at 10 o'clock tonight in an hour. I just tweeted, this is the exit interview. What do you think of that before I go to Bumbaye and Tom? Welcome, Tom. Welcome, Bumbaye. Go to you.
Well, I would love to know when it was recorded, right?
Might be recorded today when the game was going on.
Probably. Tenkar put the team sheet up, right? And Ronaldo was on the phone to players, mate. But the thing is, and he knows it's the World Cup. So what is he saying? That he's played his last game for Man United. That's basically what he's saying. Say whatever you want. I don't care, mate, because if it's your last game for Man United, I'm going to be rejoicing because I think it's time that you moved on. But at the same time, if he exposes the Glazers, if he exposes it, listen, if you're going to come out, Ronaldo, if you're going to put the boot in, put it in the right place, which is the Glazers. If he goes after the Glazers, then all is forgiven. Say your piece and move on. But if he starts going after the staff, the players, the manager, whatever, when we're trying to rebuild and we don't want that toxicity, then that is going to ruin his legacy with the club, the fans, forever, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, let's see what he says.
Big up, Mundo. Well, we'll go to Bumbaye. Welcome, Tom. Go ahead, Bumbaye. How did you see that game? And then the Ronaldo question as well. Piers Morgan, mate, his boy, protecting him, one of his boys, protecting him hard.
Good evening, boys.
Well, it's good evening. Big up Unai Emery as well for the second win.
Evening with the B boys. I was listening to it on the radio. Then I got in and I watched the last 15 minutes. It just sounded like it wasn't a good day at the office. It sounded like the gay was being called in a bit too much for my liking. And it sounded like that left side, as Mundo was just saying, as the whole world was just saying, of Ilanga and Malacia was really getting tested a lot. And that was the weak spot, the whole thing. But 3 points, we got the job done in the end, Garnacho, and a shit performance, nothing to write home about. But the 3 points is all that matters. It's a bit hard to judge this game because we already are talking about our players got one eye on the World Cup. Yeah, of course they are, man. They don't want to get injured. It's once every 4 years. So it's just a bit of a weird season having a World Cup in a week's time, man. So the last couple of games, there's been some weird results in England. There's been some weird results in Italy. It's just a bit of a weird time. As far as the right-hand side is concerned, that is the age-old problem. We've got one guy that can play on the right-hand side. His name's Anthony, and that's because he's a left footer. Rashford plays there. He's probably your second best option, although he's not great there. Sancho is great nowhere at the moment. And all Ilanga's work that we appreciated and thought, yeah, this is a good, promising young kid. He plays with courage. Last season, I don't think any of it was done on the right. So it was makeshift tonight. So I can't be too harsh on anybody. Just a generally pretty poor performance. But 3 points. That's what I'd say about the game. This Ronaldo thing, well, I've got nothing really to say, bro. First, if that is really happened, then we will see. And we have to wait and see what the man said. We might agree with him, or we might think, nah, man, this is not what we need now. So not too much to say until I've listened to it and assessed it.
Okay, go to Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Yep, evening.
Watching that was a heart attack for me. It was giving me a heart attack at times. I couldn't believe the distances. I couldn't believe the distances between Casemiro and Eriksen and Bruno at times. I thought we made some decent opening and could have scored more goals. We should have at least been 2 up. I don't think it would have been injustice if we were 2 up in that first half time going in. But second half, we came back like we were on the plane. Like already luggage being got. It's like we were waiting in the queue. That's how we played like in the second half. And if it wasn't for Garnacho, then I would have been one of the most pissed off games ever to watch. And today, if we would have lost that game, which we could have, I would have put solely on Erik ten Hag. And also, I would like you to react to this. So I'll say it again. Breaking. This is Piers Morgan. I've interviewed Cristiano Ronaldo at length for my show, Piers Uncensored. It's the most explosive interview he has ever given. Stand by that news at 10 p.m. So we need to finish on time to catch that interview.
Before you go to Tom, do you think now this show, seeing that we're going to have a nice break for 3 to 4 weeks before we reconvene at the end of December on the 27th is the next fixture, that maybe we give our midterm reports on the tenure of this manager and what we've seen so far?
Oh, we can do that. Listen, we can do that. I was going to do that during a week, try to get you guys to come and do that a week. But we can talk about that. But I genuinely want to talk about the game and then this breaking news of Ronaldo. But we can do that as well. But go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't really think there's much to say. To be honest, you go against these teams and stuff, and at the end of the day, if they have more quality players, you don't get away with some of the chances that we had with the sloppiness defensively. If you go up against a quality team with quality players, probably 8 out of 10 times they put the ball in the back of the net. The only problem today was they didn't have the main target man in the box, which was Mitrovic, because some of them crosses that were coming in at the far post, he'd have absolutely eaten Malacia and Elanga. He'd have eaten that side where Pereira was getting in that channel and just flipping the balls in the box. The amount of crosses he would have got on the end of, I think I counted about 7 crosses that he got in the box. If you're telling me Mitrovic isn't going to get on at least 3 or 4 of them, and out of 3 or 4 chances, I think he's going to take one of them as a minimum, and then suddenly you're in bags of trouble because you don't have the physicality to keep up with that player in the box at all. From set pieces, you might have a chance of marking him. From open play, no chance in hell. Because Lindelof ain't physically strong enough. Martinez can position himself, but physically, he'll get outdone. You just said about the midfield. You said about the midfield, Nuruddin, as well. Midfield, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, they're 10, 15 yards away from each other. That is not a functioning midfield. They are 10, 15 yards away from each other. If you want to function in midfield, you need to be within 5 yards of each other.
I think that was tactical though. I genuinely
movement.
Listen, I don't know if Erik ten Hag has ever had a defensive midfield player like Casemiro, and I think he's He's just saying to Casemiro.
Well, he has really, hasn't he? We had Edison Alvarez toward the
Yeah.
end of his toward the end of his tenure at Ajax, but that's the only designated one I can think of anyway. But it's not a part of his remit. It's not a part of his style. But not being able to be within 5 yards of each other, I was surprised that Paulinho had the game that he did today.
Oh
I'm
my
not.
God.
I'm not shocked in the slightest. I think he made 7 key interceptions. Casemiro
9.
made about 3.
9
Well,
tackles.
9. I counted 7 anyway, but up to 9. And you look at that against one of the world's greatest or one of the world's best right now, as people say with Casemiro, and he only made about 3. I mean, that in itself makes you think, wow, what a player Fulham have got there.
Alone, he was exposed. He was
exposed. But even with the front line again, like we just said, Alanga he's a make-do right winger. I said that I'd probably bring him in the team just for the legs that he'd bring and the pacing behind, and that's all that you could.
Job. And when we took him off, Tom,
that's all you could really do.
We were worse. We went.
Oh yeah. Well,
worse when we took him off.
Well, I don't really expect much anyway, if we're being honest, because that side was weakened from minute 1 when we played Malacia there, who's not a designated right back in the first place.
I thought he grew into the game.
I thought he grew in the game. Yeah, I'll admit that. I thought he grew in the game, and I thought he got used to the role and he adapted.
I thought he stuck to his task.
He stuck to his task. That's the thing, and that's all you can ask for players is do the basics right, and if you don't do anything special, I don't think anybody's going to criticise you as long as you do the basics right, which is a minimum at Man United. If we go forwards to the actual chances, I think the goals themselves. I mean, first goal, Eriksen just right place at the right time, really, wasn't it? And the Garnacho one, I mean, listen, let's be humbled with this kid because we've done this. We've been here so many times where we either buy a young player in and try and develop them, or they come through our academy. We gas them up, we overplay them, overuse them, and before you know it, 3-4 years' time, he'll be in Martial's situation where he can't stay fit. He'll be in Rashford's situation where he has prolonged injuries up to 4 to 5 months out. So keep this kid, if you like, wrap him in cotton wool. And I think Ten Hag's using him in the right way. Kind of similar to, I want to see him use him how Pep did in many cases with Phil Foden, where you integrate him in bit by bit every couple of weeks. Don't throw him in the deep end and expect, world-class performances. Edge him into the team every now and then, minutes here, there and everywhere. And then just finally on the Cristiano Ronaldo interview, listen, we don't know what he's going to say. We don't know what he's going to talk about, but Piers Morgan's going to obviously gas it up, isn't he? Because he's going to want viewers going to that channel to watch the interview, and it's Cristiano Ronaldo at the end of the day. So you'll have millions of people wanting to watch it and everything, but it can go one of either two ways. He's either going to absolutely expose the ownership and the regime of this football club, or he's going to absolutely ridicule the managers and the players in the dressing room. It's going to be one or the other. I can't see it being the full shebang. But I agree with what Mundo said. I think time has come. You're at the age that you are, Cristiano. If you want to go play somewhere else, go play somewhere else. If it's an exit interview, do it on national television. Brilliant. You're a global star. That's the name. That's the way to get your name out there for all these major football clubs. Go and do it. Hear it from the horse's mouth. That's what I like anyway. But that's just my thoughts anyway.
Yeah, big up. Irfan, welcome. We all wanted Pakistan to win. Well, I did anyway. But wasn't to be. Afridi injury massively killed the game for me. I turned it off when I was like, he's injured. But come back, Tom, when he got injured. So watch United. So disappointment. And then thank God for Garnacho, at least to give you a bit of hope today anyway. But in terms of the sporting things that you're watching today.
Didn't really sleep last night because I didn't get until 5 and the game was on at 8. I thought, should I go to sleep or not? But I knew once they'd lost the toss in that ground, Melbourne, I thought, oh shit, we ain't going to win this game. The toss is so, that's what pissed me off about cricket, where a sport where winning the toss is very, very important in whether you can win or lose the game. But they sort of dominated it from the 15th over onwards. They sort of dominate game. I mean, Pakistan sort of hung in there, but they made too many mistakes, too many brain freezes. So I don't have a problem with England winning because they are the best team on the whole. They're a top team. You know, you can't take anything away from them. So.
To you, you did say England were going to win. You did say
Yeah, I
that.
did say they're going to win. No, because I've watched both teams a lot. You see, I've watched them both.
No. You said England are way favourites for this competition.
Yeah, they are. If these two played each other in Pakistan like 2 months ago, a month ago, and it was 4-3 to England in Pakistan. But we were missing that Shaheen Afridi. He had that knee injury, and he got it again today when he dropped the catch. When he caught that catch, he damaged his knee again. So it was game over then. But they fought well. But they got to learn. You know what it is? The lack of professionalism in two sides is quite big. Their strategies of the matchups again, who to bowl when which bat was coming in, worked perfectly. So they played the perfect game, to tell you the truth. They did. So not respect to England there. I don't mind them.
United, let me just get this. Big up UFC. Nobody's been negative. Everybody just giving the realistic. Today we got away with one, bro. UFC. We got away with one. I don't know. Nobody's been negative. If anybody's pointing out the facts that we got away with today, well, the header he should have finished. The left foot, he hit it hard. The keeper made a good save. It might have trickled in, but the keeper recovered. Other than that, rested were half chances. There were half chances. Other than that, but in the first half, we should at least been 2 up. At least 2 up. You could have said that. The header, to me, was a criminal. He should never miss that because he's 5 yards out. He's 5 yards out. All he has to do is get over the ball and get any part of his head onto that ball. The ball's going to go in. The ball had a brilliant whip and cross to that from Luke Shaw. But Irfan,
no, but like you talk about the. Are you talking about the McTominay header? Huh?
No.
Martial had the first half.
Oh, Martial header, yeah. I don't know because do you see him as a serious header of the ball? Do you see a guy who's going to head goals in? Do you see that kind of guy?
Yeah, he's got some banging headers.
That's it, yeah. I don't know. I always thought that Rashford's probably a better header than him at the moment. I don't know. Do you think Martial is? Yeah.
Martial has got some brilliant headers. But let me just get this. Tom, why are you so negative? We shouldn't have scored 5 goals today. Martial should at least have had 2. He came off the pitch with no goals. Yeah, listen, I understand the sentiment, but we got away with murder. We got away with murder. And more than any other game this season, I would have put it solely at the feet of Erik ten Hag because of his in-game management today. I would have solely put it at the feet of ten Hag if we would have lost. But go ahead, Evan.
But that was a strange one because, like I said, the first thing I noticed straight away is they came for us. They were driving forward for 90 minutes. It don't matter when they were behind or whether we had chances. They were going for it. They didn't stop. And like I said, we are so lucky that Mitrovic wasn't playing. Pereira clearly had a point to prove against Man United. You could see that in the way he was playing. And that Paulinho guy, I mean, he bossed the game. Whether you like it or not, he bossed the midfield. He was there, you know. And like you said, you mentioned the point that the gaps are too big between Bruno and Eriksen and Casemiro, big time. And we got to get our chill. I mean, like, I understand. Like, okay, let's just look at the chances. Left foot. So he's not. I mean, he could have hit the target, but is he going to score with his left foot? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure he would ever score with the left foot. He might hit the target, will score. So we really only had, apart from the Martial header, 1 chance. And even the goal that Eriksen scored, there was a slight deflection that ran into his pass. So I had a bit of luck. But you could say, you know, it was 50-50 the first half. You could say it was, right? But the second half, wow, our fatigue in the second half is crazy. We look like someone's giving ketamine or some shit like that. It's kind of crazy. They're absolutely like dead horses, honestly, or dead donkeys in Morocco. You know, like they just work to death. I was watching them thinking, first I said to myself, why are teams so much fitter than us? And then I said to myself, hang on, these guys are only playing 1 game a week. And our players are boss and our depth in the squad is weak. But I'm seeing it week in, week out, second half. And then, so you can see that we're lagging. You can see we're running slowly, right? And what does this joker go and do? He puts McTominay on and takes, who did he take off again? He took Elanga off and he puts Bruno on the right. And I was like trying to say to myself, so what is he thinking? Is he trying to hold? Is he trying to hold the midfield out 60 with 40 minutes to go, whatever it was? It was crazy. I didn't understand how he thought that he could shore up the game at that point. Because okay, they're coming at us, but we could come at them with Elanga, counter-attacking on the right. That's what Elanga does. He's got energy. He might not have the end product, but there was a balance there to a degree.
Irfan,
I don't know why he did that.
Side, their fullback wasn't getting out because of the threat of Elanga.
Yeah, of course.
He kept making that.
He kept them up the pitch. That's what I mean.
Yeah. The runs and with Rashford on the other side, we were a massive threat on the transition.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So no, but I mean, like. I don't think we were a massive threat because their energy was going forward. It was the little threat that we had. It was the little threat that we had.
We were a massive threat on the transition with
Yep.
3 quick players.
Yeah,
we were, and because they were trying to play a high line, they would, but on the left hand side they weren't as high. That left back, soon as Ilanga goes off, that left back gets into the game.
Yeah,
comes
he
in.
did.
Now, I don't mind you doing that tactically, right? To shore it up in the middle, right? I don't mind you doing that. For me, you should have at least put McTominay right next to
Casemiro,
and put Eriksen up there.
Yeah,
at least he brings a bit more quality.
But Nuruddin,
let me just get the super chat. Now I'm calling you out. Why UFC? Now I'm calling you out, Nuruddin. Eriksen should have made it 2. We had the chance. The first half, we should have. Yeah, no, I said the game. That's what. Look at my tweets. We needed that second goal.
Nuruddin, no way.
But
I'm not that Nuruddin, no way.
Well, you don't understand. Games don't go like that. But the performance of that second half was disturbing. I don't care what you tell me.
Nuruddin, even at 2-0, do you think we were safe at 2-0? I don't think we were safe at 2-0. It could easily have been 2-2.
No, 2-0, Irfan. They have to go more desperate. They have to go more desperate and commit more men forward.
Yeah, but Nuruddin, they drove forward the whole game. They were going for us the whole game. They didn't stop. Marco Silva saw, I'm going to sort these. I'm going to take him. You know, super positive gameplay and tactics by his team, whether you like it or not. And like I said, he had a gift of when that change that Ten Hag made was a gift towards him. Because if you break down the goal where Bruno gives it away, you know, trying to play right, whatever he's playing on the right, Malacia's too close to him, you know, and bang, he's got a free run to set James up on the right, and bang, you know, the goal happens. So you could say that Ten Hag is to blame for that goal. But then the highlight of my weekend is like watching him thinking, oh my God, Pakistan lost. Now fucking Man United are going to lose. And then we get a Messi type goal. I swear I almost banged my head when that goal went, you know, I was like, oh my God, you know, because I was like, how the hell did he score from there? How did he score? I couldn't work it out. But it's one of the most beautiful things for a fan like us to get. You know, when like I look at the games and think, you know, are we lucky? Do you make your own luck? How does luck work? But then to score with like 10 seconds to go, the way we scored, I mean, it was like, it was the sort of perfect way to end the weekend. Perfect way.
It was a daylight robbery if you're Fulham.
It was daylight robbery.
Boys, about Garnacho, let me say this, right? Enjoy him whilst you can.
Yeah,
because he's Madrid born, right? We've got a real one here, trust me. We've got a real one. I'm not getting gassed here. We've got a real one. And Real Madrid are coming knocking in 4 to 5 years, trust me.
No, we can't even get him to sign the contract yet at the moment. That's why he's getting.
Wait a second, why won't he sign a contract?
Because he wants minutes, and we're not paying him the right money. But guys, listen, 121 of you, please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. To me, I like people who disagree with our take. Everybody's different. All of us could watch the same game and get a different thing out of it. But today, I don't care what anybody tells me. We got away with murder. The second half performance was not good enough. And that substitution made us even worse. Irfan, Piers Morgan just tweeted before. He's got an explosive interview with Cristiano Ronaldo. What do you think about that? Like Mundo said, if he goes for the Glazers, he's a hero. If he comes as the manager, then he's ruined his legacy.
I don't know. This is a hard one to call because he's got the biggest ego in the world. So he could come at the manager. And he could come at the Glazers, but more likely he's got the manager because the manager's stopping him from playing. He thinks from playing and scoring goals. So I would bet money that he's going to go after Ten Hag and not the Glazers. I don't think he's bright enough to go after the Glazers. And I don't mean it disrespectfully. I don't see a guy who thinks that the needs of the clubs outweigh the needs of himself. I just don't see it at the moment. It's sad that this is the truth, but he's had such. People play for him his whole life. For him to set him up, every team has been about playing for him, and now he's at the end of his career, and obviously the muscle, the time from thought to muscle action is so slow now. He's gone. That's when he finished.
We look so much better as a team with Martial on the pitch. Like
big time.
That goal doesn't come because it's Martial that carries the ball. He turns.
But Nuruddin, in the front three, But Nuruddin, in the front three, he's Ten Hag's first pick.
Yeah,
He's the guy. He's the closest to a Ten Hag footballer of the front three.
And Hag said that with his own words. Listen, let me just get this quickly. But big up to Matt Bros for letting us know about what's going on with the Ronaldo. Big up for that. Big up, great result, but it was a bad game. No, sorry, it was a bad game. The 3-3 didn't work defensively. Ten Hag made us. It was worse by putting Bruno on the wing. Luckily, exactly, 100%, Jarvis, 100%. Always shoot as always. I'll come back to you, Mundo. What do you think? Obviously, it's going to be an evaluation, and I think we're going to bring it on to, unless you've got more points to make about the game, because I've got to watch that game again, because a lot of the long passes that we were playing, for me, at times was desperate. It was almost kind of we played on a counter. And I almost felt like, well, the goals come a bit too early for us because we were not sitting in our way. But anytime we come up against a team with aggression and energy in midfield, we go missing. Like, when people come at me about Casemiro defensively, it shows you fantastic timing, positioning on the first goal. Wins that ball so clearly, right? Gets set up again. We don't score that goal without him. Right, but in terms of him being able to cover spaces, I worry. When we play like that, especially against well-drilled teams.
I've said this before.
We need a midfield player.
Yeah, the balance. You're right. The balance with Eriksen, Bruno, and Casemiro, the balance is not right in there. It's just not right. I think Eriksen's good on the ball, but the defensive side's not good enough to play in that too, unfortunately. But to be fair to Bruno, I thought he played really well first half. I thought his use of the ball was really, really good in the first half. The second half, obviously part of the reason why was because he shut it out right. But second half, he wasn't great at all. Casemiro's doing the job on his own, essentially. That's why he's getting overrun.
Yeah.
Eriksen hasn't got the legs. He just hasn't got the legs.
Isolated by himself in there. Bombay, yeah, to come big up. AA says we were bad before the changes since the idea of stuff. It didn't work, yes, but let's not pretend. But you know what? We were a threat, though. We were a threat. We stopped being a threat, and then we just sat back and conceded all sorts of possession without having to carry any threat at all. Till Garnacho came into the game. A couple of those moments. Garnacho. It looks like he didn't make the squad to Argentina. Do you think Argentina are having a second thought about Garnacho? Imagine having him off the bench in the World Cup. What do you think, Bombay?
Nah, bro. I think the kid's come on. He's played 3. Sociedad was good. I think Villa wasn't good. And today he comes on and does the business. It doesn't matter World Cup. He's only 18. It seems like we've got a player there that's a good player. I need to see a bit more of him. But the way he takes that goal, the give and go, was beautiful. And when you get players like that, they have courage to play. They go for it. They're not scared. And he takes it very early. That's what catches the keeper out. It's a really smart finish. So, bro, I'm glad he's not going to the World Cup for us. We're going to need to rest as many players as we can. I haven't got too much to say about Ronaldo until I see it. It's just going to be conjecture. You asking me any more about that until we read it, that probably can have a show on its own. And I just think it's very difficult to gauge any team at the moment. Look at City against Brentford. Brentford could have walked away with 3 or 4-1. City was shocking. I watched that game. Brentford were very good. They knew when to go. Just crazy results happening left, right, and centre. So it's because of the World Cup, bro.
100%.
It's hard to read the World Cup.
Do you know the player's going to be burnt out. It'd be interesting to see what the New Year's like with the players, because I just can't see it. This is not sustainable.
Bro.
Well, wait a second. You say that, Mundo. Wait a second. So if you just look at burnout factor, right? Martinez, yeah? Our players that in our first 11 that we need, and who's potentially gonna suffer burnout. So we got Martinez, Casemiro,
he doesn't start.
Bruno. Yeah, that's 3. Who else have we got that potentially could come back even more knackered? There's
Eriksen.
three up.
Eriksen's got
But
to
bro,
go.
do you know?
Eriksen, Rashford.
But the
Rashford,
thing is with this World
Hmm.
Cup, with this World Cup, one, not all our players. Martinez don't start for Argentina, anyways. They don't. He doesn't start. So I think it's going to be the same for all the teams in and around us, anyway. The ones we're competing with. Do you know what I mean? Harry Kane's going, Son's going, Liverpool players are going, City players are going. It's just at the moment, if we were the odd team out, suffering just a bad bout of results, a really good performance
What about
against
Arsenal?
Spurs.
Liverpool are back on fire. Spurs on fire. What are you talking about? We compare them to City. City do this every season, mate. They get howlers
No.
again. They dominate possession. A team
What I'd
figures
say
it out
is,
and beats them.
well, bro,
Crystal Palace.
it's not
This
just.
season it could have been Crystal Palace. So don't start comparing us, making excuses for them, mate. Man United was shocking today. I don't want to talk about Man United. Stop making excuses.
Nah, what?
Liverpool were on fire, mate. Liverpool were on fire last night. Could have scored 5,
Bro,
6.
Yeah. Do you know what? We've had a great game.
Arsenal,
We will
amazing.
make.
Best start to a season in the whole history.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not every single team, but there are a lot of weird things happening. In this league, there's weird things happening in Serie A. I was talking to a guy we work with. He's a Lecce supporter. They're supposed to be getting relegated. They popped Atalanta. Atlanta apparently were dreadful. They're a top 4 side. They've got international players. They popped Udinese or drew with Udinese, which is like an amazing result. So when a World Cup's coming for the first time like this, you will have one eye on it, man. Do you know what I mean? You're scared maybe to go in for a challenge. It's an interruption to the natural state of just going out there and playing for your club. And our players will go like everybody else's players will go, and then we'll just have to take stock. I think the main thing is today, somehow God answered our prayers, and this young man came and just got us the 3 points. So it's beautiful at the moment, you know. Okay, we're 5th with a game in hand. We win that game in hand, we break into the top 4. I mean, if somebody had said to me at the start of the season, listen, you're going to be 6 points behind City with a game in hand at Christmas, qualify for the Europa League, you're still in the League Cup and that, playing some good football, albeit inconsistent, I'd be like, yeah, you know what, that sounds pretty good. I'll go with that. But it is very difficult at the moment to give you a diagnosis because of the variable that is the World Cup. But everybody around us, bro, is going to the World Cup. And we just have to wait and see because we're all going into unknown territory. This has never happened in the history of football. A 3-week World Cup, who knows what's going to happen, injuries, fatigue, whatever. Players will come back, but it's the same for everybody. But right now, what you're asking me, I can't just give you, just give it you like that because this is new territory for everyone. And I think it has affected football players in general.
Yeah, the season has been condensed. Like the Champions League group stages don't normally finish until mid-December. Europa League mid-December. They finished like 6 weeks ahead of schedule. We played. Man United have played.
I'm not excited about a World Cup because how much it's cost. But let's not make it out that because Man City are not amazing, that every team has been shit. No, they haven't. There's been teams that have been really good, like fucking Fulham. They've been amazing, absolutely amazing. Everybody tipped them to go down at the beginning of the season. Everybody tipped them.
No, but there is something about the big teams in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Their levels have dropped off. Arsenal that are like the exception, but the other big teams.
To be fair, Liverpool have picked up in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but they've had some injuries. They've got a little bit more freshness because they've got some guys coming back. Whereas, if you think about it, like Newcastle play once a week. That's the advantage they've got over the other teams in the Big Six. Fulham probably play once a week. Man United, for example, I think we've played weekend.
Thursday night Mundo, bro. That Thursday night Mundo, it's notoriously scuppers the league.
We've had that from the
teams.
start of the season, like a midweek game.
I've been screaming, sorry,
all season. Single week.
Yeah, I've been screaming at it all season. You don't have to tell me about that. Man United.
Europa League, or league game, or a cup game. We've had something midweek.
And by the way, do you guys know we've got the game against Burnley before we get any of our players back? We've got to put a team out to play against Burnley.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days after the World Cup final. I think it's like 2 days after the World Cup final we played the Carabao Cup. It's a
Well,
joke.
do you know? Do you boys know? I found out today from a City fan that the Carabao Cup tie between Liverpool and City will be played during the World Cup. So effectively, they're going to have
we
reserve
were playing
teams
during
out.
the World Cup as well. We're playing
Yeah, yeah. So, do you know what I mean? It's a weird season, man. And unfortunately, for me anyway, it does play and interrupt and affect my judgment because I just feel there is a lot of weirdness going on. I mean, some teams might pick up, some teams might drop off, but there is something off that is stopping me giving you a proper diagnosis and assessment. You know, of things in general, and definitely, bro, that Thursday night football. You know, throughout the years, we always speak about, you know what, can they do Thursday nights and then play again on Sunday? It's nice when you play Tuesday and then you play Saturday or Sunday. Thursday's a bit too close every time. So
we play against Burnley on the 20th of December.
And the World Cup finals the 18th of December, so it's 2 days after. So we potentially, if Brazil play Argentina, we've got no Martinez, no Casemiro, no Anthony.
Well, it could be that way. It could be that way. Anyway, listen, Mitrovic, check this stat out from Mitrovic, yeah? Mitrovic, since Silva's walked into this club, Silva, the Fulham manager, 56 games, Mitrovic has scored 52 goals.
How many?
That's incredible.
How many?
52 goals.
52 goals in 56 games.
Oh, under this manager.
Crazy. That's crazy stuff. Crazy.
they're not bad going forward, you know. That's what they do.
I
They
thought
just keep
Pereira
going
was
forward.
amazing, but guess how much they signed Paulinho for?
15 mil or something, like 15, 20 mil.
15 million.
Oh, God. And we spent 70 on Casemiro.
I think he's going to be 27 next year. It's incredible. I would give them McFred. I will give them both a backie on my bike to Fulham tomorrow. Both of them just to get him.
But do you know what? If we try to buy him from Fulham now, we're probably breaking the British transfer record or some shit. That's how badly we negotiate.
Listen, a Fulham guy replied to me on Twitter and said 100 million.
Yeah. And we'd pay it as well. We would pay it.
He's on a 6-year contract, apparently.
Him and the Nunes guy from Wolves, he's another one that we could have got. They were both signed from Sporting Lisbon, right?
Yo, big up Matt Boss. Ten Hag, I'm really happy with the sub that came once again. It's not only 11 players, you need a squad to win trophies. Listen, big up Matt Pross for the breaking news section and also getting us a couple of the quotes. So Ten Hag talking about here. Ten Hag, let me see where he's talking. Ten Hag, we were 1-0 up and then great chance after half time. He goes in.
I heard Ericsson missed the sitter.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he was stretching.
He
He wasn't in full control. He wasn't in full control of the ball. He wasn't in full control. And then you can see, he says here, and then you see that two halves are never the same. The game changes. Fulham get better and get more dominant and create chances and get the equaliser. Well, you know what? It was your substitution, mate. It was your substitution that made us even worse. It's shocking that, honestly. Honestly, I've not blamed him for a game as much as I did today. Today, if we would not have got that winner, I'll be going berserk right now. I'll be losing my absolute.
Can we talk about how atrocious our squad is?
Yeah, of course.
You take two players out, and the levels drop
Massively.
dramatically. Like it's. I don't know how we're going to get through to the end of the season with this squad and be competitive. I'm being honest. There's too much dead wood.
Yeah, but Mondo, this is part of it. This is where we're at. This is I don't know if you compare us to Arteta taking Arsenal the first year. That's the stage we're at. Where we're a squad that needs a massive overhaul, but we've got a manager who needs to overhaul it and then get his own players. So that could take 3 years, if ever. That's if he's allowed to happen. So, like people have said in the comments, we have to accept a crazy roller coaster season that. Like I said, whatever hair that I had is all gone. So, it's all the roots are going to be gone by the end of this season. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
I mean, if they don't sign him a right back in January, then...
they're not going to, though. They're not going to.
I mean,
did we miss Dallo today, Nuruddin? Did we miss Dallo today?
Massively.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to Malacia, he started off really shaky, nobody helping him out. And I was shocked at how good William still is, Mundo. Like,
Yeah, he's
I
good,
thought
isn't he?
he's lost it.
No.
He turned on the years today. Honestly, he rolled back the years today, like with a change of speed and everything. Did you see him?
Yeah.
Like, he was gliding
Yeah.
across the pitch. I'm like, wow. You know the reason why he left Brazil, don't you?
Yeah,
There's
because
a
of
huge hooliganism
Yeah.
problem in Brazil. Players are getting followed in their cars by fans to their homes. Forget going to the training ground. And they're getting death threats on social media. That's why it's come back to European football. No, 100% I agree with you. McTominay as the number 10. What do you think about that, Bombay? I'll start with you.
Oh God.
Well, you know me. I'm somebody that thinks he's not a world class player, but I think he's a good player.
So far. Listen, I can see this now.
He's a good all round player, bro. That can do various jobs for you, and he's an important part of the squad.
He's had a good season so far, I'll give you that. But McTominay as a number 10, you're taking the piss right now. I'm telling you now, Bombay, you're taking the piss. He's not a number 10. 8-8 attacking, box-to-box midfielder, yes. The idea, what is he? Like, it's crazy. Like, he don't trust. That's what I'm saying. He's mad. He does not trust Fred or McTominay from deeper role, passing the ball to somebody, just being better. Somebody better. It's incredible what he's clearly making that out. I do not trust Fred and McTominay as number 8 who are passing the ball.
Do you know today, when I was listening to it on the radio, it felt like we were just going long.
Yeah, we were.
The radio was saying basically, we're just going long today. We're not playing football. Because we know that we can get in behind. I think you're better off playing.
I think Casemiro hit 9 long passes. I mean, he only got 3 came off.
Yeah. So do you know what, bro? It makes sense in a game like today. If that's what you're going for, obviously you take a bit of a risk. I think the team has a better defensive shape, and Casemiro will have a better game with one of the disruptors alongside him instead of Eriksen. But you put Eriksen there today if you're going long anyway. You know, take that ball, fire it over the top long. Because Fulham, one thing with Fulham is they just continuously go for it. Marco Silva is attacking, but they do concede a lot of goals. But you know what? They play nice football, exciting football. They do go for it against everyone. A few of their games have been reasonably high scoring this season. So I think Ten Hag will be able to get away with playing, 2 players in the ilk of more offensive, passing artistry kind of thing instead of more defensive players. When he gets this team to keep possession for 90 minutes regularly. Until then, it will always be a bit of a risk. And I think Ten Hag has said a few times now that he will approach every team accordingly. He's not just going to come with a philosophy like Pep and say, right, we're just going to do what we do against absolutely everyone, and I believe that this will work. He's not actually been doing that. He's changing it. We've looked different quite a bit. So sometimes the changes that he makes, I might not quite understand them or agree with them, but I'm still learning about this manager.
I think he's talking out of his arse because he didn't change it up for City and we got pumped. I don't know what he's talking about.
Bro, I think City came a bit too early for us, We had some 2 good results, but City were absolutely flying, and it was just too early. And do you know what? At that stage in the season, he's still building that mentality, that resilience. I think early days, we started with 2 pop-ins, then we had 2 good results, then City came. So I think the timing of it was just way too early for us, and it was what it was. But if you look at how we've approached Chelsea and Spurs, it's different to the way, for example, we played today. It's different than we played against Arsenal and Liverpool. There was an emphasis on different parts of the pitch, and there was an emphasis on how high the team is going to move or how low it's going to be and what the game plan is. Against Spurs, we thought we're just going to go and dominate, press them, dispossess them, and just push the highest line you can. I remember our players were in their half, our defenders, but against Arsenal and Liverpool, listen, these guys, they want to push a high line against us, be resilient, find our outlets, go long, break quickly. So he is astute in that sense. He's more rounded than what I would have believed initially, which is not a bad thing until we become a well-oiled, possession-based, high-pressing machine. Because, as I said very early in the season, irrespective of what Ten Hag's got at his disposal, I think we do have some good players there. We need some, but many teams around us need some. But nonetheless, I do still expect a level of results. And like Dino said, like Mr. Structure's saying, if today we're having this conversation and we've got a draw or a loss, it's a very different conversation. The result always lessens the blow, and it is just as important as the performance at this stage. So it's things for me are going all right, are going pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you can only work with the tools you're given, and the squad is so unbalanced. I saw someone in the comments talk about Arsenal. Arsenal got a weaker squad. Yes, on paper they might not have players as good as Man United in some positions, but they're more balanced. Their squad is more balanced because they've got a director of football, and their manager has had transfer windows to get out the players he doesn't want and get in the players that play his football.
And it's had 3 years to build and coach.
Exactly, and they've been drilled in a system. So Arsenal are a better all-round team than Man United currently, and that's to be expected, right? But what I saw today was I saw a goalkeeper, 5 defensive players, 5 attacking players, no cohesion, nothing in the middle, just hitting the ball long. The defender's start position too deep. It almost reminded me of volleyball. I'm going to be honest. It was like Ollie football.
Yeah, it was
just defenders get the ball, and the only guy who tried to pass between the lines was Martinez, and he's a centre half. Right. So what was our midfielders doing? Bruno, to be fair to him, he's too far up the pitch. He was too far up the pitch for me. That's where the distance was. He was too far up the pitch. But when he was on the ball, in the first half, I'm talking about. Second half, don't even mention that. But first half, he used the ball quite well. To be fair to him, but what has happened to the press? What has happened to the press? And I've said it on here before.
I mean, to be fair, we press really well to get the first goal, but it's not sustainable. We can't sustain the energy levels.
But you know that press you're talking about, bro? That press, is that press is what we want to see. But what that press does when you apply it and you go with that game plan is it stops Fulham coming out. And what Ten Hag wanted them to do is do what they've been doing: come out, get the ball, go long, bash a goal. That's the idea. You're inviting them on by not pressing them. If you're pressing and pressing and pressing, then that high line that they want to do, they're not going to do. So I think that's the logic behind it today.
Yeah, I get that, and that diagonal ball to Rashford was on all the time, right? And they found him quite a few times with that diagonal ball. That was quite successful, but I don't know. It's just I know you've got to change but I just think sometimes when you're under the cosh, we were under the cosh a lot in that game, and we were struggling on one side of the pitch. Sometimes you just got to keep holding the ball. Sometimes you just got to work.
But we can't. We can't.
Yeah. You can't just keep giving the ball back to them. You know what it is? When you watch,
the ball is hit like a hot potato. By the end of the season, I'm expecting. So we'll come up to this in the last 10 minutes of the show, before we all go and watch this. Big up, Windy. Windy Grant says, "What's the panel's opinion on players speaking about the atrocities that happened in Qatar? You mean nearly 7,000 people that were gross misconduct and murder, manslaughter of their death due to building a stadium. I'm for it. They should use their platform." She said she's not saying that. I'm adding the fact that 7,000 people have died. Almost 7,000 have died building this stadium.
There's no point even talking about players, managers, pundits, or anyone speaking out, because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, because
people have already said shush, shush. See what FIFA said.
Yeah, FIFA said shush, and they'll speak about it afterwards. They'll come back and they'll talk about it. But whilst the tournament is going on, they're going to want to win the tournament. That's all they care about. So,
Look, do you know what? There's a lot of people that want to talk about this thing that's been happening in Qatar. Yeah. Number one, I think these figures are being thrown out. They're not verified figures. That's number one. There's no solid verification. If anybody can show me,
human rights.
no, there isn't. No, there isn't. No, bro, there isn't. There isn't.
Sorry, human rights
There
organization.
isn't. No, listen. Listen. I'll tell you now. There isn't.
6,500 workers have died without,
bro.
and on their death certificate, guess what they all said? They've died of natural causes. BS.
No.
Sorry.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Look, that's the first part, yeah. The second part is, and I don't want to say this, but if people have a strong feeling that they want to show solidarity and believe that 6,000 workers have been treated like serfs and have been effectively sent to their deaths building stadiums, then I think those families of those people boycott the World Cup. Don't watch it. That's putting your money where your mouth is. Seriously, don't watch the World Cup. Then
listen,
don't commentate on the World Cup. No, that's bro. Listen, if you want to talk the talk, you have to walk the walk.
Let me finish. If the players had any humanity, the players would have spoke to FIFA and said, "We're not playing in this World Cup unless nearly 7,000 families, unless they're compensated, right?" But they're not doing that. So that's what they should have done. But as football fans, you can't tell football fans not to watch the World Cup. You can't do that.
No, you can't.
Compensation is admitting they don't want to admit that there's a problem. So by paying compensation, they're between that rock and a hard place, because if they pay the families compensation, that's as good as an admission. That's them saying we've allowed 7,000 people to die and it's our fault, right? So that's the
Let me
reason
ask you this. If your family member died building a stadium, would you play in that stadium?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you watch the game?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, that's my point made. If you want to actually, no, it is, bro. Listen, the fact that you like, no, listen, let me finish. Let me, listen, bro, listen. Let me finish.
Listen to me.
Let me finish.
Football fans.
Let me speak, bro. Let me speak.
Wait every 4 years for the World Cup, and all of a sudden boycott. No, mate.
Listen, listen. I'm gonna tell you this now, yeah, because you want to bring it up, and this is what we're talking about.
Well, who we're talking about?
Yeah, all right, fine. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Bro, listen to what I'm saying to you.
Who we're talking about here? We're talking about the families.
We're talking, Chris. We're talking about every individual that is voicing from their conscience. Okay. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about your self-conscience.
Mm-hmm.
As a person who sees that many people have died, and these stadiums have been built by on blood, let's say, yeah? The right thing to do then, I don't care how much you are waiting for World Cup. Is World Cup and football more important than people dying to you? Then watch it. Otherwise, the integral thing to do with integrity properly, solidarity, don't watch it. Don't tune in. Don't commentate on it.
That's the big reach to expect, because in reality, and it's sad to say this, but a lot of people don't really care about this stuff unless it affects them directly.
People want to come out and speak in solidarity, but the real thing to do is, you know what? Not watch. Cantona's the man. Can I say I'm not interested in World Cup? I'm not watching this World Cup. This World Cup is about money. People are dying in this World Cup. That's the proper stance of people that want to come out with a conscience. That's the peak there. None of this bullshit. Oh, do you know what? Compensate. Don't watch it. That's the real thing that you do. If you believe 7,000 people have died building stadiums, don't watch the World Cup. Is football more important to you than these people dying? No, that's the thing. Yeah, man.
Listen, but me not watching the World Cup's not going to help that family.
Listen, let me jump in.
Bro, if everybody does it, then there is something. But each person to his own conscience is what I'm saying to you. But that's the real thing there.
You're not watching the World Cup, it ain't gonna make no difference. But anyway, I'll digress. What you said is what Windy asked is that do these players have a right to speak about this. There's nearly 7,000 deaths that happened, right? And I said the players should have gone to say to FIFA, we're not playing unless those 7,000 families are recompensated. That's what the players should have done. So the players talking about it for me don't matter because they're the ones who've got the power. They're the ones who got fans don't have any power. We don't have any power. The players on that football pitch.
No, fans have power, man.
So
fans have power.
Listen to me. So what they could have done, Mundo just explained to you, unless it happens to your own country. And some Qatari brother spoke to me the other day. He said, so should have England, we're on 2004 World Cup. Was that a World? No, 2006 World Cup. Should England be banned from all the countries? So for the coalition of the willing, should all of them be banned and not gone to the World Cup because of the millions they've slaughtered in Afghanistan and in Iraq? And I said, well, we don't live in that world, innit, where even that can be bought up. To me, the biggest thing is the players had opportunity. Each of the captains who've qualified for this World Cup had an opportunity to meet up with the head of FIFA to say, listen, 7,000 families have not been compensated for the deaths of their loved ones working in these horrid conditions building these stadiums. So FIFA should have paid them. It doesn't even need to be Mundo, right? The Qataris, right? FIFA should have compensated those families as a responsibility because you took the bonds to have this World Cup there. We all know they got brown envelopes, right? Everybody knows, right? Everybody knows they got brown envelopes. By the way, there's nearly 200 of you here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So fans, for me, wait for this. It's the greatest spectacle in the world. Nobody, if I showed you a map of the world when it comes to World Cups, it is the most national sport in majority of countries on this planet. So you're asking the global fan base to not watch a World Cup. That's not happening. That's not real.
Well, to me, what I'm saying is it's a very small.
It's an amazing principle.
Look. I'll tell you my last piece on this. Yeah, Palestinians, for example, there's no recourse for them. There's no compensation. We know, for example, what happens out there in that country. Yeah, and you protest and you march and all that, but people boycott Israeli products, don't they? So you boycott this World Cup. Yeah. And why do people do that as well? That is an individual conscious choice on the basis of your principles, why you are against something. If you're saying, you know what, it's so snide, all these people have died building stadiums, why are you watching it then? Don't watch it.
No, listen.
That is the proper thing to do. That thing you're saying to me. No, hang on. Let me finish, man. That thing you're saying to me. We wait 4 years for a World Cup. It's just football. It's just football in the face of 6,000 people dying. That's the point. It's nothing. Football is nothing. It's just a game.
Yes.
In the face of 6,000 people dying. So each individual has a choice to make, and they can make that choice.
You're telling fans.
That's exactly what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm posing to you.
4 years. That's unrealistic.
So
Mundo already answered that. You keep repeating the same thing. It's unrealistic.
Yeah, well, that's my position on it.
For me, my position is if the players really cared, they would have somehow got together with FIFA and compensated those families if they truly cared.
Listen.
Forget FIFA, man.
Yeah, they're the ones who put this World Cup on, knowing those people treat human beings like that.
Yeah, but they're putting this World Cup on for fans.
What you're both saying, in principle, right, are both good ideas. But you got to think about the reality. So Bombay, there's millions and millions and millions and millions, if not billions, of people watching the World Cup.
Right.
It's in reality, you'll get a small minority who will boycott it because they think of those people who died. But the vast majority, so FIFA will still make their money.
I know the reality.
By the way, guys, listen, can I just say this? The quotes are coming out from the interview. Are you guys ready?
Go on.
Ready. United have betrayed me. That's the first quote. Big up Khalees from Mini Lassie. We're going to be live for another hour, it seems like. And then this one comes out. I didn't respect Eric Ten Hag.
Oh, God.
My set girl. I've been made the black sheep.
Oh, God. Mundo, everything you said, opposite.
Yeah, no, I said that if it,
Oh, dear.
yes, not only the coach, but another
Here
2
we
or
go.
3 guys around, I feel betrayed.
I was right. I was right.
Yeah.
I was right. His ego.
His ego.
Do you know what? We need to watch
his
it, man,
legacy-
properly.
His legacy for me at Man United.
Hang on, Nuruddin. I listened to what Mumbai said about this 6,500 thing, right? You don't boycott a game because you don't make everyone pay for the disgusting behavior of a nation like Qatar. You don't make us pay for what they did. We're meant to be a civilized society. Now, let me tell you something. If 6,500 white Europeans died, believe you me, there'd be boycotts. Believe you me, there'd be boycotts, right? So let's put it into context. Okay?
If this happened in Russia, for example, in the last World Cup.
If it happened in Russia, oh my God, no one would turn up because everybody's jumping to what America says. America says, no, listen, you've had your say. Now listen, right? Look at all the instances of boycotts and how they happen, especially the white Western European ones. Look at them all, right? This is disgusting what's happened, but everybody knows in the Gulf nations, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Thais, Indians, they treat like sewer rats, worker bees, sewer rats. If they die, it's not a problem. They take your passport, it's not a problem. All right. The issue is because it's not in Europeans' faces, that's why they can ignore it. But the fact is, if it was in European country, there would be major shit happening now. Fact, that's it. It's fact, nothing else. It's not on the average supporters to say, oh, hang on, I'm going to boycott it, because we're not going to boycott it. I'm not going to boycott it. Even though I hate the bastards, I'm not going to boycott it. Why should I miss football because of these bastards? But my right is to make my point to say, I'm watching it, but you fuckers let these people die. And shame on you, shame on FIFA, and shame on every country that doesn't call it out. Because only
every football fan is socially conscious. So not every football fan will A, be aware, B, give a damn, C, make the sacrifice, right? So you can't say fans should just boycott and not watch it because I get what you say, Ali Boumaier.
That's not reality. That's not real. That would never happen.
On a personal level, yeah, that's quite rewarding for that individual. But on the
Bro,
global scale, it's going to make a difference.
Chris, do you know the reality of it? What I'm posing here into the arena of this discussion is every individual can choose to stand by their principles, and that would be, I'm not watching this World Cup. It don't deserve. I'm not going to watch it on principle, on my principle. So I'm posing it out there. You make your own personal choices. That's the first thing. The second thing is, the realities are inconsequential. We already know the realities, and that just is me shining a light on the way the world works. Everybody wants to come out and say, no, this is snide, this is snide. Well, look, if it really means that much to you, take the personal principled approach. Don't watch it. But that's to each individual to his own. You know what you're going to do. You know if these brown people, Nepalese people, whatever, they're as valuable as another life, that's fine. This is a proper discussion. It is a political discussion. It is a discussion on many levels that transcends football. But for me, the ultimate testament of solidarity is, you know what? Fuck this World Cup. I'm not watching this World Cup because it's all about money from the beginning. And there's blood involved in the building of these stadiums. This don't mean nothing to me. It's just 3 weeks of football. There are people out there that are taking that stance. Eric Cantona is one of them. Ultimate respect.
And you know what? Rightly so, we picked up Eric Cantona for that stance.
But that's one aspect of it. That's one choice. That's an honourable approach to take. But I don't.
So you take the honourable approach, or you don't.
No, you don't.
But that's the right approach to take if you are going to...
1 second. Cristiano Ronaldo on Wayne Rooney. I don't know why he criticized me so much. Probably because he's finished his career. I'm still playing at the top level.
Do you know what? This interview sounds dreadful.
No, this
It
interview's
sounds like
happened, you know,
Ronaldo is confirming everything that
you
people have
defended
been
him.
thinking. Yeah, it's
You
not
have
good,
been
man.
defending him. You've
You
been
were
coming on
defending
here
him,
and
Mbaye.
defending
You
this
defended
fucker,
him.
right?
I
We've been
have, bro.
telling you. What do you want?
Listen. Don't get on your high horse now because you come out and you know he's fulfilling your wildest fantasies. You and
Well,
Irfan and
no,
Dino.
I don't respect him because he didn't show respect for me. If you don't have respect for me, I will never have any for you.
Do you know what? I'm gutted, man. I swear I'm gutted. This is what it is all
But
about.
why would you expect any different from this flipping narcissist?
I
We
told
told
you,
you from the day dot that
Bro,
this guy was.
Wait a second. Can I just?
Ronaldo and Randy says, Ronaldo, if you're not even a manager, how are you going to be the boss of Manchester United? I've never even heard of him.
Oh God, he's putting the boot in.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but
This
is he
is
saying
awful.
anything about the owners? Is he saying anything about the owners?
Oh, yeah,
No.
No, not yet. He's not said
And
anything.
guys, guess what? It's not just his United career that's over. It's top level football is over. What club or manager is going to touch this?
Yeah.
Not. He knows it now. This is him saying, "I'm retiring." He's going out. He's playing the World Cup and then he's retiring, mate. Or he's going to LA or somewhere. His career.
No, he's got to do a PK now. He's got to do what PK's done. He's got to just go.
Yeah, he's gone. He's
season.
This is it. But what a way!
So effectively, what is Ten Hag ever going to play him again, lads? And if he plays him, what would you think?
You can't play him again after this.
It's impossible.
Oh, yeah.
Ten Hag said to him, "Don't do this."
Here we go. He goes, Cristiano. Since Alex left, I saw no evolution of the club. Nothing has changed. Wow. That's an
Yeah, but wait. Do you disagree with that one? Do you disagree with that one, though?
No,
he's right there. No, thank God. I'm glad he said that.
Right
And that's absolutely correct.
I've been banging on about it for the past 10 years. I could have told you that for free, Ronnie. I could have told you that for free. I've set up a YouTube channel exposing why things have not changed. Oh, God. Oh, my.
If any club touches him after this, then more fool them.
No, there will be clubs who touch him because they think they're going to come for money. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but the owners might, but they're going to put the managers. No manager's going to want to manage this ego. You're not going to want to manage this ego.
Mundo, they're going to sell shirts, bro. This is like the World Cup, selling shirts, Ronaldo. I'm just trying to shout. This is the world that we're living in, bro. There's no principle. There's no virtue.
Let it be somebody else's problem. As long as it's somebody else, they can sign him. They can sell shirts for them. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. As long as it's not at Man United, it's somewhere else. Juventus are laughing at us. They knew this was coming. They sold us.
One second. We'd like to welcome back Stephen Kramer. Stephen Kramer, we've not seen you or heard from you on Twitter or on the YouTube channel for a long time. Did we fall out? Is there something that I don't know? Big up to you anyway. Big up Celtic. Up the Celtic always. Up the Celtic all the time. That's what I love about Celtic. They put human rights and principles before football at times. And when they get fined by UEFA for standing for the Palestinians, they always raise the same amount of money and send it to Palestine. So big up Celtic. Ronaldo, he needs to go in. He needs to go in a bit harder here. He said, since Alex said, I saw no evolution of nothing has changed. Of course nothing has changed. I followed my heart. He said, Alex said to me, it's impossible for you to come to come to Manchester City. I said, okay, boss.
Alex Ferguson's fucked you over, Ronnie. I mean, I love Fergie, but he's made some bad decisions the last few years.
Yeah, he says Cristiano said the program was zero when he returned. Of course it is. Of course it's zero. No progress at all whatsoever.
So where are these calls coming from?
No. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look. Bumbaya, are you ready for this? Normani 70 said, you guys are talking rubbish. World Cup is happening in Qatar. No matter what you racist brains think, human rights doesn't exist everywhere, even in the UK. So stop your bullshit, hypocrites.
What is this guy talking about?
Why you listen? You need to
this guy smoking some crack. He is. Yep.
Right.
He doesn't. You understand that if 6,500 people died in a civilized country, there would be massive hearings about it. Even if they covered it, there'd be a discussion in the public about it. I don't know what this guy calling us racist. You're the racist, no man, dead brain, dumbass, man. Get the fuck off the station, you dumbass idiot, man, saying shit like that.
Look, you know what it is? This is what I mean. But you know when Ali Boumaier was saying, oh, people should do this and that. Some people are not socially conscious. Some people don't get nuance. Like this guy doesn't understand nuance, right? He doesn't understand the concepts that we're talking about here, right? All he sees is, oh, it's an attack on Qatar. No, what we're
he's
saying...
probably a Qatar. He's probably a guy from Qatar.
We're actually saying that people are attacking Qatar, but it's just hollow words and they're not actually doing anything positive in terms of...
the victims.
Yeah, but that's because those 6,500 people don't have any political or power clout. They don't have any value, and that's what I'm saying. They're valueless because they're dark-skinned people from poor countries. Who gives a shit if they die or not? That's the point here.
Boumaier, you're racist, yeah. That's what the guy called you, by the way. If you want to boycott this, Ronaldo, I think the fans should know the truth. I want the best for the club. This is why I came to Man UFC. But yeah, you have some things inside the club that don't help the top level as City, Liverpool even, or now Arsenal. Say it, Ronnie. Just fucking say it. Say the word. Let me spell it out for you. Glazers. Fucking say it. Don't be Minnie-moused about it, you little shit. You coward. Why are you being Minnie-moused?
Wait a second. Won't Piers Morgan ask him to say, is it the fault of the Glazers? Surely if it's a sharp interview, he'll ask him that question directly.
Well, if there's nothing that's changed in the last 10 years, he doesn't need to say anymore because Ten Hag hasn't been there 10 years.
Yeah.
None of the players in that squad have been there for 10 years, other than probably De Gea. Right? There's no and Alex Ferguson and maybe a few others, but that like the tea lady. But the only constant in those 10 years is the Glazers. So for me, you don't even have to spell it out, Ronnie. I mean, everyone knows what you're saying. You know, it's obvious. It's quite clear what he's saying. But
there we go. Another quote is that Cristiano, I love the Manchester, I love the fans. They're always on my side. But if they want to do it different, they have to change many things. They have to change many things. Okay.
Like getting him out of the club, that's one thing we need to change. That's one of the things we can change pretty quickly, actually, is by getting him out.
There we go. Yeah. Alex Ferguson knows better than anybody that the club is not on the path they deserve to be. He knows. Everyone knows. The people don't see that. There's Ronnie!
No, the people...
Just spell out the words, Ronnie! Spell out the words for me! Ronnie! Spell out the words!
It says the people who don't see that. Hang on, it says the people who don't see that.
Yes! It's the people inside. He's talking about the people inside the club.
No, let's see what the next part of the quote says.
Yeah, where's the next part of the quote?
It's because they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
They're blind. No. Guys,
the Glazers are blind.
like
that's what he's saying. It's the Glazers.
You're saying the Glazers are.
Subscribe to the channel, subscribe. On the eve of the World Cup, you know what? He said it, He said I was going to do an interview. Remember when he was in Portugal? He said, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to sit down and do an interview. That's what he said. This interview's been coming for quite a bit. So let's go. He says, I think it's the same quote. This is he knows better than anybody in the club on the path they deserved. He knows the people don't see it. It's because they don't want to see it. They're blind. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how he says he's being forced out. I mean, wasn't he the one who was trying to leave in the summer? Or has everyone forgotten about that? That he was the one who was trying to force a move?
Yeah. But anyway, put this here, because as Cristiano says, he's quoting Picasso. Go on, Ronnie. Ronnie's quoting Picasso, people. You have to laugh at this. He's quoting Picasso.
Wait, Nerdin, wait a second. Nerdin, wait a second. Let me ask you a question. Are you hoping that this interview is on all the back pages of every paper tomorrow? Is that what you're hoping for?
I'm hoping, yeah. The quotes, especially the quotes about the Glazers, yeah. It says, as Picasso said, you have to destroy to rebuild. And if they start with me, for me, it's not a problem.
Mm.
If they have to start with me, hey, go on, Ronnie, son.
Listen,
Ronnie,
one of two things can happen off the back of this, and let's hope the right thing happens. Number one, the Ronaldo fanboys, I hope, will go after the Glazers, right? Because they're going to think the Glazers have forced their boy out, and they don't go after Ten Hag. If they go after Ten Hag, that's a mistake.
Listen,
Oh, no.
Cristiano
Ronnie's the
Ronaldo,
sacrificial lamb here. He's the sacrificial lamb.
Mm.
He's thrown himself under the bus. He's
Mm.
exposing the Glazers. The door's wide open now. Any movement against the Glazers needs to gather pace quickly now, because Ronnie, he can't spell it out anymore than how they spell it out.
and he's been in it. And you know what? Look at what Zlatan said about it as well. Zlatan was like, people go under all the hype about Man United, then you go inside and then you see how small of a club it is. It's a small mentality club. That's what he said. Zlatan said that. Honestly, go on, Mundo, Google that. Just Google Zlatan's quote about Man United. It's there. Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney. I'm not going to say that I'm looking better than him, which is true. He's not holding any fucking info. He's not holding. Oh my God.
Rooney's quotes, because Rooney put quotes on TalkSport, and that was only a couple of days ago. So he's obviously, this interview's
Mundo,
like,
he watches
really
everything. He's
decent.
got a whole team that watch everything. He's the guy's a baby. Just because Gary Neville said the team looked better without him, he didn't say hello to Gary Neville, ignored him. He's the guy who's played with him for almost nearly how many years? 7 years. And he ignored him. That was his former captain. He don't respect anybody. He's absolutely deluded. He thinks he's the greatest gift since sliced bread. He thinks it's the greatest thing to ever happen to this world. But that's cheeky. He goes, I love it. He's a people. You know, English not his first language. I'm not going to say I'm looking better than him, which is true. Ronnie's going for it, I'm telling you. Big up MG. There we go. He says, carries on and says, Ronaldo, as a club this size, should be at the top. This is not the case. There's no excuses. Go on, Ronnie. Spell it out. Don't just spell the Glazer family out for me. Glazers. Just say it. Say it, Ronnie. Just say it. Why can't you just say those words? Where's the super chat? Let me just get this super chat. Big up Owensky. I'm in my line of work. An interview like that, especially against your employer, is considered insubordinate. I can't. Mundo, please read it. Read it.
Insubordination, but I appreciate his insights.
Ronnie's giving me quotes almost good as that Sancho Garnacho goal today. I'm telling you, this has been the highlight. Is this Ronnie carrying on, or is this a quote? We have two strikers here, me and Anthony Martial. Tell me, how am I supposed to compete with a player like him? Have you seen him play? Unstoppable. That's why I want to go.
That's a piss take and a half on Martial, brother.
Listen, Arun Pandey, good try, lad. Good try, Aaron Pandey. Good try. I gotta give Aaron Pandey for that. He's a certified.
Listen, half of these quotes could be bullshit, boys.
No, honestly, no. I trust Khalees. No, I trust Khalees. I trust Khalees.
We should go. Listen, we should watch it. We should watch it and do a show and check the context and properly dissect the thing.
Now we're gonna do that. Big up Jarvis Cookers this here. This is exactly what we just said before, what me and Mundo and everybody was saying before. But he says Manchester United betrayed Cristiano for trying to get rid of him after he handed his transfer request.
Yeah, because that's his ego. Because it's like, how dare you try and get rid of me? I try and get rid of you. That's what he thinks. Yeah. He thinks I leave when I want to leave, not when you say I have to leave. That's how he thinks. That's his mentality.
I don't know if Logan is taking a piss, but he says Ronaldo says senior executives at Old Trafford even doubted him when he explained why he couldn't return, which made him feel hurt and bad. He called out the Glazers. Okay.
Yeah, because you know those heartless bastards, right? They probably wanted him because he obviously
Yeah,
he's
because
something
he signed
to do.
commercial deals. Commercial deals.
They needed him to go on tour. They needed him to
Yeah.
go on tour to sell shirts. So they probably were on him, right? So I you know what, I feel for him there because I suspect that's
I said
correct.
that, Mundo. One thing I've been right about, and I've been consistent about it. When somebody says there's something going on with your family, football second nature for me.
Exactly.
Especially after we lost a child. Ronaldo, the fans for me are everything. That's why I give this interview, because I think it's the right time to speak my mind.
No, you don't give an interview. You just leave. Why do you? He thinks he's some celebrity, like he's going on Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan of all people.
Mundo, Piers Morgan is one of his PR machines. If you watch Piers Morgan this season, right? Piers Morgan is one of the people that he's got journalists in the media. Piers Morgan, Rio Ferdinand are the two that are in constant communication with Ronaldo. Piers Morgan is his friend. So's Jordan Peterson, that hardened Zionist sitting across Benjamin Netanyahu, by the way. Just letting you know. He spent 4 hours with Ronaldo, Jordan Peterson. 4 hours. 4 hours with Ronaldo. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy, right? Guys, we've gone on a bit too long, honestly. We just want to wrap it up. From all the quotes that are coming in, guys. Ronaldo is done. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Thank you for at least exposing the Glazers. I want you to spell it out. I genuinely hope you spell it out. I genuinely hope that you do that. You should do that and spell it out. To the guy the guy that was here, I gave the example. If you were listening, you absolute dumbo, right? I said if we would have banned, some people would have been legitimately calling for. I don't know. I don't think the US qualified for 2006, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think the US qualified for that World Cup. But if somebody came out and said all of the coalition of the willing that bombed Afghanistan and Iraq to smithereens and killed all of those people should have been banned in that World Cup, I would have been stood on it. I would have stood on it. I would have been like 100%. There's even now, you've got so-called journalists, British journalists saying that Iran should be banned because there is protests going on and there's human rights abuse going on in Iran. So Iran should be banned. I mean, it's just absolute ludicrous. Absolute
I think,
ludicrous.
you know what? I think you need to put a disclaimer out there to say to anyone watching this show, we talk football, we talk politics, we're socially conscious, we talk about other things. If you're not interested in that or you're easily offended, do one.
Yeah.
I second that. I completely second that, Mundo.
Let's make it clear.
Cristiano Ronaldo said, nothing has changed since I left. The pool, the jacuzzi, even the gym, even the same time. Thank you, Ronnie! Thank you, Ronnie! Thank you, Ronnie! When I tell people, people go, yeah, what are you talking about? You stop hating on the club. Ronnie's spelling out here. Nothing has changed since I left. The pool, the jacuzzi, even the gym, even the same technology, even the chefs who I appreciate, lovely people. Oh, God. He goes, I thought I would see new technology, infrastructure. So I saw things I saw when I was 20, 21, 23. Glazers, done. You've been exposed. I've been a lonely voice. I have been a lonely voice in this wilderness, in this world. Glazers are done. Ronnie is a hero. You can say whatever he wants. Ronnie is the hero. Ronnie is a hero. I'm making a space, people. If you want to come on the space, I'm going to start a space on Twitter. But I'm telling you, Ronnie is an absolute legend. That's what I wanted people to hear.
Let me check Twitter, Nuruddin. Let's see what Twitter's saying.
Listen, Cristiano, let's even go there. Oh my God! He's even go further. Well, no, get this one for me.
That one's for you boys telling me Ranić.
No, he said a big club like Manchester United bringing in a sporting director like Ranić surprised not only me but all the world. And to be honest, I finished the quote. This guy is not even a coach, but we were saying that. We were saying he should be brought in as a sporting director.
Mundo, I told them the club and the people. Murta and Darren Fletcher interviewed 4 people.
Ronnie, boys.
Let me name the 4 people for you. You know the 4 people that were interviewed to be the interim coach for Man United for 6 months? Go on to name it for you. Lucien Ferrer. The guy who used to manage Roma. What's his name? He managed Lyon.
Oh, Rudy Garcia.
Lucien Ferrer, Rudy Garcia, Valverde, who was a manager of Barcelona, who won the league with Barcelona, and Ranić. Out of all those 4, Ranić has not coached the team. Has only
10 years.
In 10 years, 89 games. So who hired him? Because they were selling us the dream that after he looks at what's going on in the club, because they wrote off the season anyway. They wrote off the season. So after him, they were like, look what you need, and then you become the director of football or head of recruitment. That's what they said. And I went into a space and I said that. But Man United interviewed 4 people, and they interviewed the guy had the least time in the training ground. All of those other 3, Lucien Ferrer,
We're
Rudy
coaches.
Garcia, Valverde, all of them worked. All of them coaching. All of them modern coaching. Big up Ronnie. Cristiano, he just carries on. He's
It's true. This is true. He means it. He used to watch me as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Because when we as children used to watch like old videos of Pele, well, Ronaldo used to watch old videos of Irfan.
That's it. He used to watch videos. I've got the videos, man. Honestly.
Black and white, Irfan in black and white.
Irfan taking the ball in midfield and getting past. Irfan with his Palatini France 1986 shirt. I'm telling you.
Wow,
Cristiano
that's cheered me up. That's cheered me up.
Nothing
That's
has
really.
changed.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude.
But honestly, it's what it is.
Oh, wait a second, Nuruddin. Wait, I'm just okay. We've gone past the narcissism. We've gone past the Ronaldo show, right? Obviously, Piers Morgan's opportunist, right? So just remind me, what's he doing this for again? What's he? Is he? Does he know it's game over, or is this is his way, his final sort of card he's playing? Can you explain to me what's going on?
I think I said it before that he was going to force.
Can I just give the context?
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Go on.
Can I give the context? Let me give the context. Ronaldo said he's going to do an interview. Remember when he was in Portugal, he said, he posted on Instagram, he said, I'm going to do an interview and to get lots of things off my chest. Because at that time he felt hurt because the Glazers were bullying him to make sure that he was available for the tour. Because they already signed 3rd, 4th, 5th party commercial deals with Ronaldo going to the Far East and Australia. So that's when he was upset about, right? Now he's come out and exposed the football club. He basically said they had no sympathy when his daughter was sick, his daughter was ill. And I always stood by that. I always said, Ronaldo, if somebody says their family is not well, always have to respect it. Always have to respect it.
Yeah. And so the thing is, and I predicted this.
Can I just please, Wonder Woman, can I just please thank?
Hang on, Nuruddin, let him speak, man. Go on.
Listen, I just need to thank people. Big up Khalis Ramadan Lassie. Big up Matt Bros. Big up Aaron Pondy. Big up even Stephen H. Everybody who's sharing the quotes, who are watching and sharing the quotes. Big up to everybody. Big up Agostino. Go ahead, Mundo.
Yeah, I was saying I predicted this a while back, didn't I? When I said that he's going to force his way out of the club, and this is his way of force. Because it sounds to me as though the Glazers were going to hold him, like they were going to hold him captive, because that's what they do. They do with every player. They'd rather let them run
Cash cow.
The last hour, the last second, than release them from the club. So they were going. I wouldn't even be surprised if they were planning on triggering his 1-year extension, right? So now he's thinking, the only way I'm going to get out of here is by dropping this bomb. That's the only way I can get out. I have to make it so toxic.
Boys, do you know what? Can I just say?
Makes sense. What you said, it makes sense. What you said,
Alex. I'm not falling for PR. I know Ronaldo is a machine. He's got a thing. This has been in the works for a long time. But when he lost a child and now he's saying his other child is sick, I'm willing to believe that. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm a human. I'm human. I believe in the humanity of people. When somebody says, my child is sick, I'm going to say, I believe you. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question it.
Do you know what? Ronaldo, boys, I just love Ronaldo. I back Ronnie, and
Yeah.
obviously,
Oh, it's come out.
yeah, I always have. I for me, maybe I wear rose tinted glasses, but isn't there a possibility that a player that was here when we were what we should be, that has played at the highest level, the best facilities, the best clubs, the best players, demolished it everywhere, comes back as the prodigal son and sees this club is a shambles, a state, a shadow of what it used to be when he walks in? Like, isn't there the possibility that this guy actually does give a shit about Man United, does love Alex Ferguson, does like the fans, and wants what's best for him? But we're just translating it as, you know what, he's just an egotist maniac. It's all about him. He don't give a fuck about United, nothing. But listen to what he's actually saying.
Two things.
Ronaldo is a guy. Now, listen, Ronaldo has always been the heel. Messi, for example, is the baby face, always. FIFA don't like him. People want to get on his back. He always had to do it the hard way. So Ronaldo has got a stockade mentality. But that's one of the things I like about him. That's one of the things I like about Mourinho. I like the villains. But you know, Ronnie, for me, the guy has done it the hard way. And Ronnie don't need the money. Ronnie don't need nothing. Ronnie's the only player to ever make break the £1 billion barrier. I think Ronaldo's come out and thought, you know, fuck this. This is not Man United. What is happening to Man United here is tragic. Ronaldo, what do you think Ronaldo's thinking? I'm going to play for another 10 years. Ronnie's not asked. Ronnie is frustrated. I said it before. This guy wants to win. He wants to win.
Can I say something to you? This is where my rebuttal comes. His agent, Mendes, is de facto the director of football at Wolverhampton. He's one of the biggest super agents in world football. He knows what's happening at Man United. He's well aware of it. His client, Jose Mourinho, was there. Everybody knows what's happening. He wanted to get out of Juventus. He thought, where can I go and pay? Where I was going to be worshipped. The team are shit. I'm going to shine. 3, 4, 5 things can be true. But this is what Ronaldo comes into, and I'll read this one out. Ronaldo accused a lack of empathy, especially within a 3 months old daughter was hospitalized in July.
Yeah.
He could not return on the time for the preseason training because he wanted to stay with her. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrown with that. Do
you know?
I always believe when somebody says, like, football, his daughter, he's just lost his wife and him have just lost a kid when they were born. One of them then is ill and is hospitalized. So he has to stay with her 100%. And that's why in all of the spaces on Twitter, I always said, I am not going to speculate whether he's lying or his PR. I'm not. And I hope, Alex, you get that. I hope you get that. Ronaldo goes on and says, Ronaldo's a senior executives at Old Trafford even doubted that when he explained why he couldn't retain which field. Well, that's the Glazers because they signed deals. Glazers don't give 2 fucks about anybody other than their merchandise deals. That's how it goes, people. Ronaldo here, he says here, Ronaldo, I want to focus on a World Cup win for Portugal, then come back, resolve things with United, one way or the other. Well, you're going to be sticking anyway to the down.
Do you know what, bro? Ronaldo has been always a guy, whether it's Sepp Blatter messes with him, whether it's FIFA messes with him, whether it's reporters try and, you know what, take the piss out of him. Look at him in press conferences. He's one of those, he's not asked. Ronnie has done it all the hard way himself. When he comes out like this, I don't think he's bothered about burning bridges. He's like, you know what? This is what 100%. This is. So
in terms of money, he can't have any money. Like he's a billionaire. Ronaldo said on Rooney, got a hair trap. Ronaldo on Rooney, Rooney got a hair transplant, but still looks like Phil Mitchell from EastEnders. Big up expressions.
And you know what? I'll tell you another thing about Ronnie. Yeah. Ronnie.
Listen, he's talking to you.
Listen, bro. Please, bro. Ronnie, I remember he backed all his teammates, the ones that were under heavy fire. Always he's loyal to his teammates. And when Gary Neville and these guys come out as pundits, I know they're doing their job, but I don't think Ronnie would do that if he was in their position. Maybe that's the kind of guy he is, and that's why he does not take kindly to it. He sees it as a betrayal. That's just the way his
Well,
mentality
you
works.
shouldn't take it personally. Criticism on your football ability is
No,
something.
bro, listen, but you know what? Some people are fiercely loyal in that way. I remember when Bale was getting by the English press, he said, listen, Bale's a top player. He'll be fine. Benzema's still young. He'll be fine. And people were hunting after them, doing them. Bro, he's his own type of person. I don't think Ronnie comes with ill will, but I think Ronnie's come now and he's thinking, you know
Let
what?
me just get this.
This
This is the
club,
last quote, by the way.
this club is not what it's supposed to be, bro.
Yeah, big up Mundo, by the way. Big up Mundo. Thank you, Mundo. Big up. So this is the last quote we're gonna read out, people. The last quote we'll read out. Cristiano on the United fans. They're always on my side. I feel that every time when I go out, when I walk in the streets, the fans come up to me and they appreciate what I do for football. Okay. Big up, Khalis. Listen, big up to every one of you. Irfan, the last shout on this.
I'm not surprised. I'm sort of I'm glad he said the things he said. Some of them, not all of them. I'm glad, but it needed to happen. I don't know whether it will have any effect on the Glazers and how their PR team's going to work, but it's definitely embarrassed Man United. My only worry is that toxicity in the club is still there, and he might have driven a wedge between the club and the players and himself. He might have made it like a divide that can never be sort of brought together again. That's my own worry. But it needed to be said. I don't know whether this was the right way to say it, but it's sort of more turmoil for the club. But like I said, I hope a lot of fans can learn from this and work out that the owners are the poison and they have to go. I'm hoping that that's going to happen, but I don't know whether it will. But that's what I'm hoping for.
Big up.
Well said.
Yeah, big up. If I actually disagree with you slightly, but let me just get this. Ronaldo, this is what Alfie Chico says. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Says Ronaldo is one despicable piece of work. This is definitely an exit interview. Glazers terminating his contract is too toxic now after this. The one thing what you don't understand, Alfie, is that Alfie Chico, the most toxic people in Man United and have been from the day for 17 years is the Glazers. Nobody will ever get as toxic as the Glazers because this is not a natural downfall. This is systematic structural downfall, which they have purposely done to the football club to rinse the football club. So that's what I would say. I think Ronaldo was naive, slightly naive, but he's also knew what him and his agent were doing. They came for the last payday and he thought he could be a hero at Man United. But thank God he exposed everything for what the club is, the structure, everything what it's for. Big up to Khalis, big up to every one of you. Ronaldo says, man ever tried to force him out. Not only the coach, the other 2 or 3 guys around the club. I feel betrayed. Yeah. This is the same thing that we've got. Yeah.
Give him a statue.
Listen, they have to listen. It'll be interesting though, because the Glazer might not terminate his Cristiano this year. Ronaldo was the solution to find that Man United could no longer sign the world's very best players, making their chances of winning top trophies much harder. Come on, Ronnie. Your agent, that's where this is where it's PR. Because listen, your agent is de facto the sporting director of flipping Wolverhampton. All of the sporting directors, all of the agents know what's happening at Man United. Where have you been? Don't make it out look like you've been in fucking Jupiter. You've not been in Mars. You've been on fucking planet Earth. Behave yourself, Ronnie. Behave yourself. Listen, I'm genuinely heartbroken and I'm sorry the Glazers wanted you to go to a pre-season tour when your child, you just lost one and then the other one is in hospital. I'm sorry about that. And my heart, on a human level, my heart breaks for you. But don't try to make it out. You didn't know what's been happening with the Glazers since Fergie retired. Don't. Yeah, no, 100% Giorgio B. 100%. He's just throwing them under the bus. Of course he is. Listen, it's been a wild show, people. What a day. What a day it's been. From morning cricket to Man United this afternoon, and then this interview. But listen, I just hope that I wish and pray for the child, for me. I've got siblings who've got children. 1 or 2 of them struggle with illness. So my heart always breaks for any child in this world who's sick. And I just hope that I wish nothing but health, good health to his children, regardless what we think of Ronaldo. For me, exposing the structure of the football club, that to me is exposing the Glazers furthermore, because now you hear it explicitly. The things that I could not say in spaces or on YouTube, Ronaldo just said. Things that I could not give you the sources for, Ronaldo has just said. But I've been telling you for a long, long time, Therapy Army. I've been telling you the infrastructure, the buildings are falling apart. They're falling apart. Glazers out. Bumbaye, last word on the show, and then we'll go. Go ahead.
Ronnie's the Don, man. That's it.
No, he was the Don, man. That's a better way to say it.
Nah, bro. We'll see. Do you know what? I'm going to read the interview, and I'm going to think about it.
It live on Wednesday.
It'll be available on YouTube. It'll be available on YouTube. You can watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it, bro. All I'd say now, look, I think Ronnie,
So,
I'm going to read it.
Okay, apparently the full interview comes out at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. So why was he?
Okay, we'll check it. But my final sign-off is, so far, I give Eric Ten Hag a B. We're doing okay. We're showing good signs. Let's see where we are after the World Cup. But in terms of where we are, what we've done so far, there's a lot of good things and still a lot of things that we need to obviously improve.
100%. Big up. I thought daylight robbery today for me, Man United. And I thought that was Eric Ten Hag's worst in-game management today. Taking off Ilanga, putting McTominay as a number 10 and Bruno out wide. Fulham, if they had a finisher today, if they had Mitrovic, we would have got beaten today, and that would have been on Eric Ten Hag. Of course, the lack of imbalance in our squad would always.
They're reading it. They're reading it out. Ronnie quotes on Match of the Day now.
Okay, big up. Listen, we'll watch that. Listen, win, lose or draw. Glazers out, bankers out. Peace, love, light, people. Take care. Airfan, big up. You can follow Airfan Rainey on Instagram, music, and Airfan Rainey on Twitter for politics and everything. Peace, love, and light, people. Take care. Peace. Glazers out. Bankers out.